Good morning, new day. Today's task is getting the intake surfaces cleaned up. I've already cleaned up the gasket surfaces for the valley pan. I got that covered up. You can see I've got over here I got these plugged, but I've cleaned these, pulled these out, vacuumed up real good. Now I'm going to tape up the ports with some duct tape. And that'll be the final protection of those until I put the intake manifold on. I'm also cleaning up the surface of the heads up, giving that initial cleaning because in preparation to do some painting. Being so cold out, I'm not sure when that's going to be, but I've got the cam and crank gear all protected. So not using the wire brush, just using some solvent and a Scotch-Brite, being very careful. I've got after I cover these up, I'll run a tap through the holes for the intake manifold bolts. So also you notice since the last video, I do have all the rocker arms back in, the lifters, push rods, etc. They're not adjusted yet. I tightened up the adjuster some, but I need to run through and adjust all the valves cold. So we're getting there. Time to put the oil pan on. First thing, all these gasket surfaces need to be good and clean. I use brake cleaner. You can use alcohol. Make sure the groove in the rear main bearing cap is clean also. And the oil pan flange, all the oil pans, and also the filler block. I've pre-curved these gaskets. That helps a little bit. It's still, especially the one on the rear main bearing cap, these Velcro gaskets are a little wider, and they're just a bear to get down in that groove, but you just got to work at it. So everything needs to be clean. Get everything out that you need beforehand. I'll be using aviation form gasket number 3 and number 2 non-hardening Permatex sealant. Got to make sure you put the little tiny cork filler blocks in, and we'll show you that. Those go in with the number 2 Permatex non-hardening. So now that everything's ready, let's get to it. Alright, let's review this service letter N1964-1 under oil pan. Install the oil pan as outlined under oil pan installation, and in addition, add a small amount of Permatex number 2 or similar non-hardening type sealer to the following areas. Small amount of sealer at the junction of the front and rear oil pan end gaskets and the side gaskets. Apply sealer to the front face and ends of the filler block. Apply a ribbon of sealer between the oil pan and the oil pan end gaskets. Install a small quantity of oil sealer in the recesses in the rear main bearing cap before installing the small cork seals. Those are the filler blocks. In general, use sealer wherever 2 gaskets meet, butt, or join together. So I use a combination of the Permatex number 3 and Permatex number 2. A lot of people like RTV. That's fine. That's a more modern sealant. I've had real good luck with the Permatex, so that's what I continue to use. But use your favorite sealer. Alright, first step is to install the little filler blocks, and they go right in there and on the other side. It's really hard to tell if they're in there because there's Permatex number 2 on them. Now remember, they're 2 different sizes. So you've got the larger one goes in that side, and the smaller one goes in this side. And then before I slide the side pan gaskets on, I'll put some more Permatex number 2 there. And before the cork gasket here goes in. Make sure these gaskets fit in. I had to reduce the width just a tiny bit of this tongue on both sides. So just something you want to check before you in the middle of doing this. So next step is to go ahead and get some sealer on these gaskets here.